Doklam, this small plateau caused standoff between two industrial and economic superpowers. How can this tense relationship affect the future? Presenting the 2017 Indo-Chinese standoff. Thesis: China's People Liberation Army built a road on the Doklam Plateau, but India and Bhutan opposed the construction because they claimed that Doklam is Bhutan's territory while China claimed Doklam to be their territory. This triggers the 2017 Indo-Chinese standoff. Racist propaganda is used in both countries. Many people aim for war. However, because India and China agreed to disengage their army from Doklam, this showed to the world that a conflict between two superpowers can be solved peacefully. Doklam is a plateau that lies at a giant junction of India, China, and Bhutan. China claims Doklam is part of Tibet, while Bhutan claims it will be part of their territory. China believes that Doklam is a territorial dispute between Bhutan and China, which is why they object to Indian troops being present there. However, Doklam is very close to the Siliguri corridor, commonly known as the Chicken's Neck, that connects the 7 northeastern states of India to India's mainland. This is the main concern of India. If China builds a road on Doklam, they can have access to the Siliguri corridor. India and Bhutan have a friendly relationship. In 2007, signed the Friendship Treaty that established close coordination between India and Bhutanese troops, and India will act to protect Bhutan's interests. Both India and China cite treaties to prove their claims. China cites the Convention of 1890, which set the boundary between Sikkim, a state in India, and Tibet. China warned India that they're violating this treaty by having India's troops cross into Doklam. India cites the Shimla Accord of 1940, which established the McMahon Line, a line that separated Arunachal Pradesh, a state in India, and China. Through an international recognized boundary, China rejects the treaty because it was signed by Tibet, which was a sovereign nation in 1914. In 1998, Bhutan and China agreed to put Doklam in the status quo until an agreement was reached. Tensions started to heat up quickly. China accused India of entering into its territory, while India accused China of bulldozing a bunker of the Indian military that was stationed in Doklam. China stopped the passage of the Pilgrim State to Kailash Mansarovar, the highest water freshwater lake in the world located in China. India and China placed military troops in Doklam, and a war started, notably from the Chinese state media. Hu Chunying, the spokesperson for Chinese foreign ministry, said, "As to transits by the Indian troops to Dongguan, transit is very clear and firm. The Indian side should immediately pull out all the personnel equipment that legally crossed the boundary." Minister of External Affairs of India, Sushma Swaraj, claimed their intention was to reach the tri-junction so they could unilaterally end the status of the tri-junction. China changed tried to point the Indian security challenge. According to the New York Times, China said Indian soldiers were aiming throwing rocks at each other. This also caused more issues to be created due to a standoff. Some of the issues between India and China last 2 to 3 years were China's opposition to India's entrance to the United Nations Security Council, the nuclear supply group, India's opposition to China's flagship One Belt One Road, China being critical of Indo-US relations being strengthened, the Dalai Lama living in India, and India's proposal for Masood Hazare declared as a UN designated terrorist. Soon, however, relationships got better. India and China agreed to disengage their military from the Doklam Plateau to ease tensions. While India was withdrawing their force back to Sikkim, China promised to make necessary adjustments to their troop deployment. This disengagement helped have a meeting between the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and President of China, Xi Jinping. The disengagement happened about a week before the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa BRICS meeting. According to the New York Times, both countries claim to have won in the Doklam standoff, with one Indian TV station stating diplomatic win over China, and China's media saying that China was acting as a responsible big country in handling global affairs. India and China have had a long history of border disputes. In 1962, India and China had a month-long war with each other. From 1959 to 1961, skirmishes between Chinese and Indian soldiers led to deaths among some soldiers. And in 1960, Prime Minister of India Jawaharlal Nehru proposed a forward policy that led the Indian Army establish posts along the McMahon Line in Naksai Chin, a territory that also caused a border dispute. The Chinese government saw this as an act of aggression by India. The war began from October 20th, 1962 to November 21st, 1962. The Chinese military easily overran places like the Northeast Frontier Agency and Tuong, and battles like Guizhou occurred. On November 21st, China declared a ceasefire. China suffered about 2,419 casualties, while India suffered an astonishing 8,094 casualties. The war was a victory for China, but India was going to get stronger. In 1967, China invaded the Indian side of Natula and mounted bases in the Himalayas. They were firing on the Indian army, and at first India was suffering, but because India doubled its military size since 1962, they successfully drove the Chinese back. China suffered about 400 to 500 casualties, while India suffered 88 casualties. Soon the Chinese tried again fighting in Chola, Summit Pass, but again they failed and were driven back into the border by 3 kilometers. This showed China that India was developing quickly, and that both India and China can win in a physical conflict. Since 1967, the Indo-Chinese border has been peaceful. However, despite these violent conflicts, India and China have come together to resolve these border disputes. On June 23, 2003, China and India signed the Declaration on Principles for Relation and Comprehensive Cooperation between the People's Republic of China and the Republic of India, which sought ways to promote friendship and cooperation between the two superpowers. Some ideas were promoting the socio-economic development and prosperity of China and India, enhancing the positive factors of globalization, enhancing the cooperation of the World Trade Organization, and as the declaration stated, historical and cultural links between China and India will be strengthened inter alia through the promotion of exchanges in culture, education, science and technology, media, youth, and people-to-people relations. Many other agreements between the two nations were signed, such as the maintenance of peace and tranquility along the LAC, which makes both nations have a view to maintaining peace and tranquility in areas along the line of actual control in the Indo-China border areas, and the Ponchal Agreement of 1954, which established 5 principles: mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference, equality, mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. China and India also formed committees like the Joint Working Group for Confidence Building Measures. A protocol was agreed on modalities for the implementation of confidence-building measures in the military field along the LAC, and both countries appointed special representatives to explore the framework of boundary settlement from the political perspective. In 2003, China and India's relationship significantly got better when China recognized India's sovereignty over Sikkim. This is a story of two superpowers having a conflict and agreeing on a compromise on a 34-square-mile plateau. The Doklam Standoff is very important in our age because we can still find ways to solve disputes that can cause tensions between nations. Instead of having a war, which many people feared could have happened, India and China instead decided to disengage the military from Doklam. Well, this is a temporary compromise, so we can't be sure when another standoff can happen. If a standoff occurs in the future, we can hope that India and China will look at what they did in Doklam, study the history of their border disputes. This can also inspire nations around the world to find compromise disputes between them. The 2017 Indo-Chinese standoff can be examples of present and future issues that hopefully will be solved.